Welcome to the warm-up show with the hockey coach, Coach Franchise, directly for the beautiful country of Tabernac. And we have to go all the way to Ontario, Toronto, downtown to see our co-host, Mr. ENORTAP.
Hello, Coach. Hello, Hockey Nation. Wonderful picture of Chris Nyland there, Coach.
Yeah, we put Chris Nyland between us, you know. In case you join with me, I can have Chris between me and you so he can stop you. So that's the reason why he's there. I like to, usually we put some graphic and we don't change the colors, each other. Just create memory, I put a memory about the players, make her, her when was young, remember the most. So, we're going to change the team for sure. But welcome back, everybody, on the beautiful, great Thursday, thankfully, day on the January 26, 2023. We have 9 games on the program we're going to talk about tonight. We have a couple of news happening, a lot of things happening yesterday. We're going to review what happened last night with a 5 game. We're going to celebrate the people and the boss. We're going to celebrate the people who go to the jail. And if we see Peter August, I would like to have one question for him. So hopefully he would pop up. And will be interesting what it would be his answer. Montreal Canadiens play tonight against the Detroit Red Wings. For all the prediction, if you put the Montreal Canadiens versus the Detroit Red Wings, I can give you already a first tip, Mr. Tap. Can I give this already?
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. The Montreal Canadiens play with a blue jersey.
The reversibles, yes, yeah.
0-5.
Ugly blue jersey, 0-5.
0-5. I just want to tell this. The rest will be interesting about that one over there. But Mr. Nathan, we have to welcome our friend from my neighborhood, Mr. Taiwan, Jeffrey Corey is in the house.
Welcome, Jeffrey.
Yann Gienet, dans la belle province de Nouvelle-Brunswick. Il est de retour avec nous ce soir. Welcome back, Yann Gienet. Great. We don't talk a lot about Yann, but Yann is consistency show up many times, but he gave his prediction almost every single day, Mr. Natap. So sometimes we have to, recognize the people helping the support of the channel, and it's one of them. Yann been with us for over years now. So thanks, Yann, to be with the Hockey Nation show and the warm-up. And the most important thing, Yann, you're listening in our tap. So that's the most important things when we come here about that one over there. Then we have Mr. Mark. Mr. 536 is in the house, Mr. Natap.
Welcome, Mark.
Talking about Yann, why not talking about Mark? Mark, he should join us on the prediction. He should send us an email, Mr. Natap, and then give us all the prediction of the game. He's always with us every night. The way to do this, Mr. Natap, is to send an email to HNLS1up@gmail.com. And after he gave all the answer. It's funny, Mr. Natap, I've never watched any email. I never go there. And I know time anyway, but...
it's good for you.
Yeah.
There's lots of emails, lots.
So I'm scared. You already influenced me too much. So imagine that I have 15 emails to checking the pick. I will be like crazy about that one over there. But it's all right to see that. Mark is a big fan of the New Jersey Devils, like Joseph Laham. And what a great W for them yesterday again on the road. They are the best team at Delhi. I believe they are the best team on the road. I think they are 18-2-2, Mr. Natap.
I believe you're right.
Yep. So congratulations for the fans of this. What about our big friend, Mr. Alan Barnes, always back with us with speed recovery. I know he was a little bit sick recently, but Alan, thanks to be with us.
Welcome, Alan.
RJ Calabro is with us. Mr. RJ Calabro gave already some news update around the league. Thanks so much, RJ from New Jersey. Ready to rock and roll with us for the rest of the night. And then look like everybody talking. Oh, the captain is out of the snow bank. Mr. Natap, he found a way to go back home. I don't know if he took a Uber or he come back or walking, but he is back with the house, Mr. Natap. Danny T.
Welcome, Danny.
Talking about the moderator, Luciano Graziano is back with us tonight. Luciano, thanks so much to be with the Hockey Nation
Welcome,
show.
Lucky.
Talking about people support the channel. They are both of them really good. Talking about the supporter, we have one reporter. We have, the guy gave us update, but the reporter live from Halifax downtown, Mr. Rick Bengal is in the house tonight.
Hey, Rick. Welcome aboard.
Should listen his wife again last night. And then I'm sure when his wife popped up at the dinner said, Rick, what the heck you doing? Why don't listen to me? Again last night, 1-4, I'm 2-3 the night before. I don't know. I think he should a little bit pay more attention about his wife.
I think Rick did a great job to teach his wife more about hockey and get her into it, but he doesn't take his own advice. That's the problem.
Exactly, and then she becomes smarter. That's the biggest thing. Women are smart, right? And then that's what happening to him right now. So it's something we just give him some tips about this one over there. And then the big question is coming, Danny. He said, how can Peter win 11-0 and then lose 0-5?
Yeah, that's what everybody's asking now.
So if Peter, you are wrong,
I'd like to know that too.
I would love to hear what his answer, how he can do that. But Renata is saying maybe, the dog get the pick for him at 11-0 and the cat took the 0-5. I don't know, but not very good. Not very good. He is back in the house, Mr. ENORTAP. Double J for Toronto. We missed him yesterday.
Welcome, Double J.
And then we have, you're correct, sir. Do we have through a really low blow to ours to carry price today on the radio show? I did not hear that. For today, I was in the bed. And we have people talking about she picked by jersey colors a win. That's a good one. And Jeffrey, I called Toronto 4-2, Mr. ENORTAP. He did it. Talking about calling about Toronto.
I wish I did.
Mr. ENORTAP, it's time. What pay attention yesterday Zone 5 game. I have a couple of talking after you finish about this. I just want to mention to you, Mr. ENORTAP, the 3-star of the night, McCann for the Seattle Kraken, 1 goal, 2 assists. Buckstrand, 2 goals for them with a goal-winning game. And then Shedil for the New York Rangers have 2 goals, not good enough to give the W for again the Toronto Maple Leafs. And we're going to talk about more after that, what happening around the league. And I'm sure you have some kind of story to tell us. And don't forget, everybody, to click on the likes, and that would be great.
Yeah, you know what, Coach? I'm very perplexed. I'm trying to think, when's the last time one of our Hockey Nation fans went perfect one night and then went perfect the next night too, but in the opposite
It never happened. It never happened.
Never happened.
Never happened. A guy like Danny can do that, right? But he did not do it yet.
I guess. I don't know. Oh, man. Only when he gets stuck in the snow, though.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I don't know why Luciano did not helping him, but and that would be interesting. So 5 games of the program yesterday. So that would pay you attention.
Well, a little bit about all of them, I guess. Starting with my very bad decision. I think I went more with my heart than my head. The Vancouver game. I was kind of hoping that Vancouver would spill over from the previous night. They put in a strong effort, but last night it was brutal. And to listen to Rick Tocchet speak afterwards about the team, and in one sentence he called them kind of soft, and that's the last thing a player or a coach wants to hear about their team or organization. So we'll see how they respond from this. But yesterday it was total domination, I think, by Seattle from start to finish. They came out of the gates quick and early, 18-6 shots on net in the first period alone, 35-20 over the entire game. They scored 2 quick goals, like you said, Bjorkstrom, and I think Wenberg had the other one, and they never looked back. And that was really the difference. Vancouver, you wouldn't have noticed them on the ice. They just were pretty much invisible all night. The Ottawa Islander game, you would expect much better out of the Islander team. This is a team that's been trying to fight to get into a playoff spot, and you pull off a game like this. What they're doing is they're really, if you ask me, they're wasting their goaltending games from Sorokin. Um, this guy is keeping him in all the games, only allowing, one, maximum 2 goals a game, and they can't muster any offense. Very disappointing. It doesn't look good. Today they spoke to Lamoriello, but Lamoriello's Lamoriello, right? I'm getting to the point where I'm wondering if the game has just passed by him. He seems he's always been a very shrewd man. He always holds the cards close to his vest in terms of what he's going to do. But you can rest assured, in the past, he's done very good things with the teams that he's been with. But in this case, I don't know. I don't know. He'd have to pick up at least a couple of solid pieces, and one of them has to be, I would say, if not a top 3, a top 6 player that can do some scoring. Otherwise, the Islanders, they can say goodnight for this year. The other game, the Toronto-New York Ranger game, you know what? A very good game, exciting from the start to the end. I thought Shesterkin played a very good game. The young kids for the Rangers played extremely well. Chido scored 2 goals in that game. But kudos to Liljegren, who very late in the game, I think with about 4 minutes, scored to tie that game. And then what a beautiful goal by Marner in overtime as he tread through 2 players and scored the winning goal, the only shot they had on in overtime. Carolina and Dallas did not disappoint. We thought this would go down to the wire and that it would go either way it could go. And as anticipated, Carolina took that early lead. Credit to Dallas, who fought back and actually took a 2-1 lead by a goal by Robertson late in the first period. But then Burns ties it up in the second, and then in overtime, Martin Nikas scores the winning goal and stays afloat there. And the last game, talk about surprises of the entire evening. Columbus all over Edmonton. I don't know what went wrong here, to be honest with you, except maybe they may have treated this game a little bit too lightly and thought that they would walk away with an easy victory. But that's a bad situation to put yourself in. They're fortunate that it went to overtime, so at least they got themselves a point. But these are the kind of games you want to come away with two points at the end of the day. So it was very disappointing to see Edmonton lay an egg pretty much in that game yesterday.
Yep, yeah, absolutely about this one. Great resume of what's happening. First of all, we welcome back Woody Snyder, Alan Keeve, and Rand Kirk. All 3 knock the door, Mr. Nota.
Welcome, everyone.
And already some people blaming Rick Tockett, some people blaming Dubas in the chat. And so that's what happened at Alan Barnett, the good band of you. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Alan Barnett. Here we go, guys. First of all, 2 goaltender again leave the ice, leave the game yesterday. 2 players, 2 goalie was already hurt during the season. Ken Talbot and Frederick Anderson. It's something we have to follow up, Mr. Natap. What will be the injury for a long term or a short term? We don't know yet. I only know they left the building yesterday. William McClary knocked the door, Mr. Natap. So thanks to be with us.
Welcome, William.
One thing happening. I watched all the highlights. What a goal of Mitch Marner yesterday. Wow, that was like one of the great goal of the year for Mitch Marner. Joseph Laham knocked the door, Mr. Natap. San Jose, New Jersey Devils. Joseph, welcome back in the house. Mark Checo, Mr. Natap, 11 goals this season. He's getting closer. I know Bernier is already in the beginning. He's at the top, but Mark Checo, 11 goals and 0 assists so far. Can he become the Cy Young, the hockey? we're always fascinated by different stats where it's not make any logic, but not make sense. And Marcheco, what a great player he's going to be. And imagine Bedard there.
Absolutely.
If people tell me, yes, so you guys, you tell me, oh, I'm Columbus or Marcus Arizona. No, Columbus better already right now.
No, I think we both said Anaheim. I
Yeah,
think
it was Anaheim, exactly. But again,
Anaheim has a lot of very good prospects. But yeah, either team has very good prospects.
yeah.
I
So my
think he'd
point
be a
was
good
like
fit
more
with
about
both.
the fact like Columbus are more deeper compared uh,
Hmm.
to Anaheim. So that happening.
Anaheim.
The New York Rangers is great to see Shedil at what 15 goal now, 16 goal I believe in the
I
beginning of
think
the
so.
season.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think one
He
player we
had
don't
two.
talk a lot, and I want to refer to him because I want to be sure the fans of Montreal can understand that. It's a Capo. Capo played for the New
Very
York
good kid.
Rangers, second overall pick a couple years ago. He's just starting to show some great hockey sense, and it took him 4 years. So Sapkowski, guys, it would take 4 years, 3 or 4 years before he become who he should be. And he showed yesterday how strong it is, a grow smarter, a hockey player. You just see now the skill of his talent. He is a capo. You can see more and more this season. And Shedel continues. So he's just missing Lafreniere, the another one on that line. But I just want to mention about him. And finally, for the people in the chat about Rick Tocchet, you said, yeah, we should know. Il y a three coaches missing in our top in NHL. Jean Galin, Rick Tocchet, and Greg Berube. If you look at their career, what they were, tough, really tough. They forecheck and tough. They don't have no excuse. You play the game tough with toughness, and that's who they coach. Jean Galin does not accept any excuse on the game. If you don't play hard, they put you down. Look what happened with Lafreniere. Look what happened with Capo before that. They are those coach. They just want hard. They just want the player uh, effort. They want work ethic. They want to be tough and don't turn around every time like that. And that's what Tocchet said. This is going happening here. That's at the beginning. Don't wait 7-9 game. This is the what you want that team over there to find the Eton stage. So you know what? If you play for the logo, the biggest Vancouver Canuck, people will show up at that building. They're going to pay the price here. So you're going to see some change happening and around that team, Mr. ENORTAP, and he's going to start with Rick Tocchet behind the bench. So yes,
Yeah, but
but that's what he's looking for. Yesterday what happening? Not only Rick Tocchet, look what he said, Greg Berube behind Perenko. Boom, right
yeah,
there. You know what? It's no matter who you are. If you don't want to play hockey, you don't want to play hard, you don't want to play with toughness, you're not going to play here, whatever you are, number 55. And this is what is happening right now. I think we are right now too easy to the players. And that's what I think right now at the beginning, you better to do it and not wait longer after 9, 10, 11 game. And that's what it's going to be. He's going to change that culture over there very quickly. I'm not saying he's going to be successful, but he right now just tell the players, hey, if you don't want to play just like a passenger, but you're going to find another team in NHL. That's what I get
yeah.
from
If
Rick Tocchet.
if you play that game, you better have both the general manager and the owners that buy into that same philosophy, because they're the ones that invest in the hockey players. And at the end of the day, if you're ticking off some of their best players, in this case, I'm thinking somebody like a JT Miller, and he's saying those kind of things, you got to watch out. I'm not saying that you have to be, a pacifier or, an introvert with these guys. Um, yes, there's always the time that you need to be tough, but there's ways to do it and ways not to do it. To call your team soft, I think in hockey, that's the worst thing you can say to your team. The absolute worst. You can say you'd better off naming them off one by one and saying, okay, you didn't do this right and you didn't do that right. Basically, you're throwing them under the bus. That's better than just saying this is a soft team. Remember when, what was his name? He was coaching Pittsburgh. He was the coach of Montreal as well.
Michel
and he was
Terrien.
talking about Terrien. That's right. And the entire interview was like a group of players this soft I'd never seen in my whole life, and just no challenge, nothing. And the next day it cost him his job because you just don't do that. You have to be a little bit more diplomatic in your approach. That's the only thing I'm saying. But yeah, you're right. He is a tough customer, and he brings that to the game. I think guys like Tortorella do that as well. But you're going to rub some people the wrong way, unfortunately.
Yeah. I think now the Rutherford go behind the door now, and then Alvin is a really smart GM. You're not going to hear a lot of drama in Vancouver now if everything coming down where you're going to see only one person talking is talking, that's it. You're not going to see Alvin talking like Rutherford, and Rutherford look like he's not going to talk anymore. So change going happening, but will be interesting how they're going to turn around about that for sure. We have a couple of things. First of all, Mr. Natap, let's start with, um, um, who got the boss today? I'm not alone. Oh, Gary Cournoyer got the boss yesterday, Mr. Natap. Me and Mr. Cournoyer are 4-1 yesterday. So let's bring the people and the boss, Mr. Natap, before we go to the game between Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Red Wings.
Let's do it.
Congratulations to Gary Cournoyer, 4-1, and for that one, few people have 3-2, 2-3, and then 1-4, and finally 0-5 for Peter August. We're going to celebrate him into another direction. This is our tap the next couple of minutes. We have few people in the chat. Don't forget to click on the like. Thanks to join us tonight. Preview game is on our tap. Montreal Canadiens versus Detroit Red Wings. Jake Allen between the pipes. And then Whiteman back in the lineup, and some struggle for Jakai and Suzuki, Mr. Tap. So we're going to go through this. So you want to talk about this when what do you think about their decision? And they play with the retro jersey, color blue, again the Detroit Red Wings. So what do you think about those change? And what do you think about the Jakai and Suzuki?
Well, I think there's an injury element in both those two cases. I think that's been noticeable. I think you even called it the last fight he had, where he did not drop one of his gloves when he was fighting, and that was probably to protect that hand a little bit more. So I'm not surprised, and at this point, you don't want to risk any serious injuries coming down the tube. You have nothing to lose here. Jake Allen, I mean, obviously, we've been hearing for the past week that he was getting slowly back into form and healthy. So it's not surprising that he gives Montembeault a bit of a rest here.
Yes. With it's over low for Montembeault. I think Montembeault need to take a break one night. He's going to be between the pipes Saturday, I believe. Then he's going to back with Jake Allen. No number one anymore. No number two. It's just the normally about this. Now Montembeault proved he could get more. One thing we don't talk a lot about Jake Allen and Whiteman. They are two veterans, really, really good leader inside the locker room. Allen, you never hear nothing wrong or nothing bad, not negative. He show up, and those both guys understand the game, and they are over 30 years old. And I think that's a good asset for the Montreal Canadiens to have this. Dixon Automotive Group is in the house. Welcome back. Thanks to be with us.
Welcome, Dixon.
Jacky, so 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes is getting lower minute. If you look about his game, he struggled on and again, people say you complaining. It's not about complaining. I'm just telling you what the people said. So what they really find out is losing his battle. So they understand he's going to be a great hockey player, but now he's on the slum of the normally a season. Now you're hitting the game number 50, 60. Now it's going to be harder because now the third season's coming very soon. All right. And the third season is about to finish strong. The last 2 months of the season, what it pick up, the team pick it up now, the position for the playoff. It's more difficult to play hockey. And I think right now that's what he's getting now. Not he loses his battle in the defensive zone, and then he don't understand sometimes take the right decision, and that's what they're complaining from what they saw about him. The next is key, but him is about
Surrounded him with the right players.
the next key is all about the offensive side, and he need to understand the defensive first. Until he's not going to understand this, he's going to be who he is, and this is the biggest problem he has right now. He's cheat a little bit. He's always thinking to go forward. And the best example is Patrick Bergeron. He should looking for Patrick Bergeron, take care about his defensive zone, everything like that. -5 already right there, 11 game. He has -8 in December. You can see every month is dropped down, and Kirby Dak is getting better and better and better, and every month. So, and I said Dak is better. I think my point is about this is key. You need to understand the defensive side of the game. Until he don't get it, he will have the difficult time to be the number one center in any team in or NHL. To play 82 game. The goal he gave against the Boston Bruins, it's exactly a problem right there. If you watch the replay of the goal, is he go to the dots, he lose a face-off, the puck goes straight behind the third player, we call him the support players, and what happening, the winger go there, and him ski what he does, jump on the play. So what happening, he losing Bergeron, and then Bergeron score. So it's just the way you need to be smarter hockey player. And I think that's something they have to figure out that one about.
And he's capable of it. He's capable of it because we've seen him play responsibly defensively on some occasions, but he's got to do it more consistently.
He's smart. He's a smart hockey player. We'll learn about this for sure. And we want to welcome Fan879 and then Chicago Bear knock the door, Mr. Nortap. So welcome aboard. A couple of things around the league before we go to the next one, Mr. Nortap. Trade San Jose Sharks versus with the Colorado Avalanche. Nieto come back in the Colorado Avalanche. Remind me a little bit what they did with Cogliano last season. And then they trade Merkley back to Colorado and return McDonald and Martin Cott. I think it's K-A-U-T. Both player Merkley guys caught. They need new scenery. They need to change the team. They just don't go nowhere where they are. So I think it will be interesting. They get a right defenseman for San Jose, for the Colorado Avalanche. They need some depth in case something happens. So I think it's a minor trade, but I think it's more about the Colorado starting right now to prepare their trade deadline for the rest of the season. Prepare for the playoffs. So minor, but I think it's good for the San Jose, for the Colorado Mission Attack. Just the beginning of this.
I believe it's setting up. It's setting up for something bigger.
Yeah, definitely. Involved in. About this one over there. NHL news: Vancouver announced they signed Kuzmenko. He was become a UFA, 26 years old at his first year in NHL, 47 games, 21 goals, 22 assists, 43 points. Signed a contract at 2 years at 5.5. This is a great deal for Vancouver Canucks to get him. What a great find. You know what I mean? So that's he's a great hockey player, top 6 players. On the flip side, just signed the left defenseman, Ben Harper, 6'4", a 2-year contract, a minimum at $787K for a total of $1.5 million. That's happening there. And then I want to mention 2 players right there. Very bad news for Nashville Carrier, the defenseman, and then Cody Bichère for the Arizona. Both of them out for 4 to 6 weeks. For Arizona, it was a player maybe going to be traded at some point, but obviously not going to happen. Look about Nick Bukestad right now. His name is related to the Carolina Hurricane. So
that'd be interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
Do you think now with the injury they trade Chychrun?
All depends what they get in return.
Yeah, they would need somebody that they can plug in right away.
They're not going to give away about that one over there for sure. About this, and then I want to mention to you, Mr. Nortap, we're going to talk about this a bit later tomorrow. We have more time. Travis Jerry, this is a bad news for the Pittsburgh right now. Remember last year, Mr. ENORTAP, when they went to the playoff, Pittsburgh, no goalies. And again, same problem right now. They have the Smith cannot carry on the load, and they don't have no third goalie. Can the Pittsburgh be on the market to find another goalie? It'll be interesting to see that. Pittsburgh, Washington, they drop a lot for the last 3 weeks or whatever they won the last game, Pittsburgh. And that gave a chance right now for Buffalo, Detroit, Florida. By the way, Buffalo are in the playoff right now with a winning percentage.
With a winning percentage, yeah.
Yeah, so really interesting to see that. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. By the way, we invited people. Don't forget, guys, to click on my app, Daily News. Today, we talk about the Rocket Line, talking about Belzile and Harvey Pinard. I explained inside that, Mr. ENORTAP, I'm talking about the energy they bring, the forechecking. I make a video, 2 video about that line. I explain a little bit the offensive, what they bring, how you play a forechecking, a 1-2-2, a 2-3, and what the role of F1, F2, F3. I would suggest you to follow this video. I think it will be great. And then I talk about the NHL prospect. They have an article for the 154 players under 23 years old in NHL. Montreal Canadiens have 7 of them inside of 154. Number 9, Caulfield. You have 16, Sakoski. You have Doc, 38, and then Colin, 39. And this is really great to check that information about this, about each player. So I invite you to check in my video of the day. But that's time, Mr. ENORTAP. I don't know if you're ready to get there, but that time to put someone in the jail. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Because it's a time. It's a time unfortunately from 11-0, Mr. ENORTAP.
But I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful. He kept me out of jail.
Unbelievable about this one over there. From 0-5 last night, Peter August is going to be the one, Mr. ENORTAP. Here we go. Dundale, Mr. ENORTAP, is out. He's going to be in now for the next couple of days. 1 day. We're going to give him 24 hours. Really, Peter is doing well on the prediction. Unfortunately, this is the second time in 2 weeks he does go there, Mr. ENORTAP. But he's all right. 9 games, Mr. ENORTAP. You have 25 minutes. That's pretty good. I don't want to give you too much time anyway. We have a few people talk each other in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't forget to click on the likes. That'd be great. And the first game of the night, this is the biggest game of the night. 2 teams are doing very well. And they are doing well on the road, and they are doing well at home. 2 teams are going to possibly to be in the final East Conference. Who knows, a little bit later on the year.
And you know what, Coach? I just thought I'd let you know I got a call from DeLitt and Smith today, and they told me that, you know what, it's not always fair that ENORTAP has to always give the first prediction. So we should be alternating, is what they told me. I give the first one, then you give the second one, then you give the first
about
one.
my prediction, that's not a problem. It's not a problem.
I don't know.
You just influenced me too
much.
It's
not me. I'm just quoting what they told me.
Yeah, I think I would be better that way anyway.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is probably the biggest game out there tonight. The Bruins and Lightning. It's going to be a thrilling matchup between 2 of the best teams in the league. Boston really is running away with the league's best record, and they look definitely to be on track to capture the President's Trophy, which doesn't mean very much to a lot of teams, and an experienced team like Boston. I mean, yes, it's an honor, of course, but it's far from what they want to achieve. But they're playing a team like Tampa that I think, with their talent, experience, and in this case, they have the distinct home ice advantage. They're going to want to send a message, I think, to Boston that our paths may very well cross in the playoffs. And you know what? Last time we checked, we've been to the finals 3 times and won the cup twice from all of that. So we'll see if that translates into a win or not for Tampa Bay. But they have some. But I think both teams have very good depth. as well. They can still tweak their lineup at the trade deadline, of course, and they probably will, knowing these two teams. But the big difference is, in my eyes, and this is off topic a little bit, but getting into the playoffs between these two teams, on the one hand, you have two very good goalies in both Swayman and Allmark, but neither one has the experience that Vasilevsky has when it comes to playoff experience. Like when you talk about the playoffs, it's very difficult to argue against Vasilevsky being the number one goalie. But that's just an aside. For this game here, I took the Tampa Bay Lightning to win at home by a score of 3-2.
All right. I'm working on something. John Mickelson, Mr. Attack, can you take a note? He said he took Seattle to win the game, but you look like you gave Vancouver. So can you check his email after the game or whatever it is?
John? Okay, I'll check it.
All
Or
right.
maybe, John, if you can send me an email just explaining that, and I'll check into it.
Yeah, I just on your report, he took Vancouver, but on his what he said, he took Seattle. So I don't have the email in front of me.
It's probably possible. I mean, I go through so many different teams and scores.
Yeah, I just want to sharing with you what you said. I just started to verify. Anyhow, Mr. Zap, see why the reason I picked after you, I see the same thing like you.
Tampa Bay 3-2. Okay.
Yep.
Who's next on our hit list here, Coach?
Well, we have to go with them.
Oh boy, here we go. This is the one I didn't want to talk about, but because on the one hand, you want the tank to happen here. I'm glad that they're wearing the reversibles so that maybe that streak will keep going. I mean, here's the perfect example. Two young teams, both in the Atlantic. They're going through the rebuilding stage. Of course, Detroit's more advanced than we are right now. Playing in Montreal. Husso's not confirmed yet, but Allen is for tonight's game. But I can't see why they won't start Husso. This is also the 603rd time that these two original six teams will face off against each other. It's the third of four matchups this year alone, and both teams have looked quite even, each having won one game so far this year. So there's very little to pick between the two. Detroit sometimes is quite an enigma because when you look at games where you believe they're going to win and should win, they lose. And some nights they're playing some teams where you're going to go, oh yeah, for sure, they're going to lose against, Colorado, or they're going to lose against Carolina, and they come up big. So it's hard to really predict them. But I got to believe, like with Montreal right now, with the decimation of their roster, it's hard to expect too many more wins down the road. Like right now, they have nine starters that are out of the lineup, including multiple who are now out for the season. Dylan Larkin, and the Red Wings, they've strung together, a decent stretch in the last 8 games. They've gone 4-3-1. Montreal, on the other hand, they've been very competitive in a lot of their games, and as you can see there in their last 10 games, they've also gone 5-5-0. So it's going to be a close game here, but they're wearing the reversible, so I'm going to go with Detroit for this one, 3-2.
Here we go, Mr. Tap. We go with Detroit. Here's my point here. I took last night Montreal, Mr. Tap, but I'm going with Detroit now, 4-3.
Okay. Because of the reversible?
Exactly. We want to welcome Aiden. Welcome back, Aiden. Thanks for being with us. Aiden Sisemski is in the house, Mr. Natap. And then Asham knocked the door, Mr. Natap. So I just want to share it with you.
Welcome, everyone.
And thanks for being with our Canadian show. Game number 3, Mr. Natap.
Another biggie.
The pen and the caps. Is it the pens go
Yeah.
under the cap or the cap go over the pens?
Oh, I think you said the same thing there, but I guess I know where you're leaning now. Um, First of all, we have the Smith against Kumper. Both goalies are confirmed for this game. This is one of the biggest rivalries out there in the National Hockey League. If it mostly because of the years that both Crosby and not Malcolm, but Ovechkin have had, but they've gone head to head every year. It's always been a bitter rivalry between the two from the day they got drafted to the current day. It's amazing that both of them have had the longevity that they have. If you look at their total points, coach, over their career, I think it's only like, if I'm not mistaken, anywhere between 3 to 4 points that separates the two, with Crosby slightly ahead. And they're somewhere in the, I don't know, 12, I think 1200 and I want to say 1266 for Crosby and 1263 for Ovechkin. But that
Ovechkin
aside,
1463 missing a tap.
oh, 14, I'm way off. Okay, 200 points behind. But they must be very close. I think just 4 or 5 points
1466 for
separates.
Crosby.
1466 and
3 point
Ovechkin.
each different Crosby advantage.
Wow, amazing. Now, of course, in all fairness, uh, Ovechkin has played more games because of the number of injuries that Crosby's had over the years, but nevertheless, two excellent, excellent elite players who have always brought the game every single night and are definitely headed for the Hall of Fame for sure. That aside, the Penguins, they captured an impressive win over the Panthers in their last game where, well, I don't know if impressive is the right word, but they did score 7 goals to sneak away a victory in overtime there. They're going to have a slightly more challenging task ahead of them tonight against the Capitals. These are both two very evenly matched teams. As a matter of fact, if you look at the standings, these two are both right now in a wild card position, both with 56 points. So I think Pittsburgh has 2 or 3 games in hand, though. But they're fighting for that playoff spot. They can't afford to leave points on the table here. You saw the difference it made now that Letang came back into the fold with Pittsburgh. Petrie's back into the fold as well. So it makes a difference when those guys are back. Eventually, when Jari comes back, you're going to see a slightly different Pittsburgh squad. But recently, they've had a tough time keeping the puck out of their own net, and the Capitals will take advantage of that. I think tonight at home, I'm going to take Washington by a score of 4-3.
So at that, go with Washington 4-3. Uh, I listen to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh no. Okay. Don't blame.
It's not looking good for Jerry missing a tap. It's a groin.
Oh
So,
really?
yeah. So,
Is it a groin pull?
yeah. So it's
Okay.
again come back exactly what he got before. So it's not looking good. Again, we see what happened. But Mr. Richard Mullen is in the house, and we wish him a speed recovery. He's at the hospital. So we wish the best for
Oh,
Richard Mullen,
get well
player. A
soon,
talk to
Richard.
our friend Richard Mullen. Thanks again. Et Yamo Vartanen knock the door, Mr. Tap.
Welcome, welcome everyone. What do we have next? Oh, I think Coach knows where I might go here. I changed the score about 3 times today, Coach. I got to be honest with you.
I did not.
And then
I did not. I go
I
straight me.
I
I
did.
don't want to change my mind. Go.
Okay, go ahead. Where did you go?
It's easy, Mr.
Tell
Tap.
us.
I find like more goal I expect tonight, but Winnipeg 5-3.
Okay, so we're pretty much on the same page, and I think you probably knew I'd go this direction. Um, for the second time in 2 weeks, the Sabres and Jets are going to go to battle here. On January 12th, the Jets entered the Sabres building and they took away a 4-2 victory. And now the Red Hot Sabres will look to spoil the show for the Jets by trying to steal a win in their home ice. On paper, I think the Jets have a better roster in terms of the depth of it and how well rounded it is than Buffalo does. But um, they're right now they're 4-0-1 in their previous 5 games, which has helped them sort of stay in the hunt for a playoff spot. And they went through a rough stage there where it looked like they were trying to get into the playoffs and they were doing a good job. And then I think they lost about 3 or 4 in a row, Buffalo, and that kind of hurt their chances. But they seem to have recovered a little bit from that. If you look at some of the stats, the road team is 6-2 the last 8 times these two teams have met. So that was almost, obviously leaning Buffalo, and that's what kept me going back and forth. But in the end, I just, when I saw that it wasn't Luukkonen that was going to play in net tonight, it was Comrie against Hellebuck, it changed my mind again. So I'm going to go with Winnipeg to win this one by a score of 4-3.
Mr. Nota, I'll go with Winnipeg for the 3. Maybe I influence him. That's what happening there. That's, I think you decided to go that one.
The goaltender. Yeah. I saw you picked up Luukkonen on the waiver wire, eh?
Yeah.
Sneaky pickup. Very good.
Yeah. I want to welcome Gary Cournoyer, my partner, the boss. Congratulations, Gary Cournoyer, to be on the boss. And then we wish the best for Richard Modern, broken foot, Mr. ENORTAP. And then he's going to need a surgery. So.
Okay, so New Jersey.
Here we go. Joseph Laham and then Mark, two big fans of the New Jersey, Mr. ENORTAP. Where are you going? I can give you my score, Mr. ENORTAP. It's easy for me. New Jersey, 5-3.
New Jersey, 4-2 for me. Should we keep it like that? But one bad stat that I found is that New Jersey is 0-7 in the last 7 games against Nashville. That I didn't like to read or hear, but you know what? I'm going to put that out of my mind, and I'm going to stick with New Jersey with a score of 4-2.
New Jersey 4-2.
Yeah.
That was a quick one over there.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into too much depth.
All right. Confirm, Mr. ENORTAP, for you. And then we have the Flyers versus the Minnesota, Mr. ENORTAP. I can give you mine if you want to. Me, I'm when I'm sure I'm going to give it to you. When I'm not sure, I will say no.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let me write it down then. Minnesota 4-3. Okay. All right. So, the one team we've kind of ignored in all our conversations this year has been Minnesota, Coach. We talk about, Pittsburgh. We talk about Washington. We talk about Buffalo. We talk about the Islanders. Are they going to make the playoffs or not? We've never included, and then the same thing in the West. We talked about Edmonton, Calgary, LA. We've talked about Nashville, St. Louis. We never ever put Minnesota in the conversation that if they're not careful, this could be a team that finds themselves on the outside looking in. And as of today, they are out of a playoff spot. And it doesn't bode very well for them. Now, the Flyers, the Flyers have actually played some decent hockey lately. If you look at their last 10 games, they've actually gone 5-4-1, and 2 of those losses, I believe, were in overtime as well. So, or one of them was, and the other one I think was a shootout. But I think they're buying into the Tortorella system, which is to play games close. We have in this game, I think Fleury is up against Hart. Um, they've been uh, they've been doing extremely well, I think. Like I said, I think they're buying into the system, and that's sort of what's been making the difference. And it's all about defense. It's all about playing as a unit. The forwards dropping back and helping the defense to clear the puck. They've as a result, they've had an increase in their offense as well because they're very opportunistic. They have a couple guys that can put the puck in the net. Minnesota, I don't know. It's they're in a really really tough situation. I don't know how much they can do at trade deadline time to try to fill in a couple of the gaps that they have on the team. The goaltending has been okay. Fleury I think has been up and down all year long. The defense, I think that's one area that they need some help in. We'll see if they can do anything, but they're really bound by their salary cap, and it's going to take something very creative for them to improve. Uh, I took in this game Minnesota to win by a score of 4-2 because I see the urgency now for them to pick up a victory, especially at home against a team that will not be making the playoffs.
Here we go. Confirm 4-3 and 4-2, Mr. NORTAP.
Yeah.
I'm Ducks. This is a Colorado Avalanche, Mr. NORTAP. I can give you my score. Colorado 5-2.
Oh, no, Colorado 4-1. I have. It looks like it's Gibson against Francouz tonight. Georgiev gets the night off. It took 4 months, really, if you think about it, in the season before Colorado started to look more like the Stanley Cup champions again. They're going to host the Ducks tonight. They're riding a 6-game winning streak. And I think they have an excellent chance here of improving on that streak and keeping it intact. During this streak, they've outscored their opponents 26-8, which is bad news for the Ducks since they only score on average about 2.8 goals per game, especially in the last 10 games. They have not looked very good in that regard. The goalies, like I said, Gibson against Francouz. I mean, you don't know. For Gibson, some nights puts in excellent performances, and some nights he doesn't look very good at all. But in this case here, I think Colorado, when you put it together with the fact that they're 8-1-1 against the Ducks in the last 10 head-to-head matches, and that the Ducks are 6-16-4, as you see there on the road. I think this should be a Colorado victory by a score of 4-1.
Awesome. Nikushin is out day to day, and then Mekar is back. Chatting Cook is out, Mr. NORTAP.
Yeah.
Calgary, Chicago, Mr. NORTAP. Calgary, Chicago, Mr. NORTAP. On that one there. My final score, 4-2 Calgary.
I'm gonna upset poor Nick in the chat here again. I know who Chicago's taking, but I don't know. The Flames, they're clinging on to that final a wild card spot by just a point right now over the Wild, and they have 2 games. The Wild do. They have 2 games in hand on Calgary. So again, Calgary's another one of those teams that can ill afford to leave points on the table. And when you play a team like Chicago, it looks like it's Stauber tonight against Markstrom. You really can ill afford to lose to Chicago. It's not unreasonable to call the win that they had over Calgary a bit of a fluke earlier on, but I just don't think that they'll have it in them to pull it off again. I think that Calgary has more depth. They have better defenders, and finally they're 7-2-1 in the last 10 head-to-head games against the Blackhawks. So I'm going to take. I think it'll be closer than that. I'm going to take the Flames, but by a score of 4-3.
4-3 Flames. Wow, that's good. That's good. Empty net, me, Mr. ENORTAP. Empty net.
Empty net.
Yep. And the last game of the night, Mr. ENORTAP, we have 1 minute. The Arizona versus the St. Louis Blues. You want my score? No problem. 4-3, Mr. ENORTAP, St. Louis Blues.
Yeah, we almost had the same score. I have 4-2 for St. Louis. St. Louis.
We are all on the same page tonight.
I think we were. Yeah, I think we had all the same.
Wow.
You know what, Coach? St. Louis, they're running out of time. It's a bit unfortunate because, I mean, of all the teams that are kind of out of a playoff spot right now, this is the kind of team that if they were just a little bit healthier and if Binnington was playing a little bit better, I believe that they have the experience and the leaders on this team that they could make a real push and get themselves into the playoffs. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen this year for them. It puts the management in a bit of a difficult situation because you just don't know, are you going to be a buyer and give them that extra push to get in the playoffs, or are you going to be a seller and try to look a little bit towards the future? If it's me, I'd say, you clear out one or two of your bigger contracts and you're going to get a nice return on somebody like O'Reilly that may be one of the ones that leaves. You also have Tarasenko to think about, and that can bring in some good assets for you. Here are some quick stats. The Blues are 14-5 in their last 19 games that they've played Arizona. The Blues that are 4-1 in their last 5 Thursday night games. And the Coyotes, they're 13-38 in the last 51 games against the Western Conference team. So that's why I took St. Louis by a score of 4-2.
4-2, Mr. ENORTAP.
Yeah, what was yours? 4-3. What did you? What was your score for Colorado, Coach?
Colorado.
Yeah, I missed writing that.
5-2.
5-2. Okay, thank you.
5-2 on that one there. So that's conclude, guys. Everything we need to know here. I'm slightly looking for JJ last call 3-2 St. Louis. Mr. JJ said 3-2 Mr. ENORTAP, so I got him, so I can send it to you. Confirm. That's conclude, Mr. ENORTAP, the show tonight. We hit everybody. Thanks so much to be a part of the show. Going to be live in the next couple of minutes to the play-by-play commentary of the Montreal Canadiens host the Detroit Red Wings. Look forward to see each one of you. Don't forget tomorrow night, 9 o'clock p.m. We'll talk about the Montreal Canadiens tomorrow night, and then at 6 o'clock, the warm-up show. And don't forget my app, Daily News, every single day, 11 o'clock in a.m. Mr. ENORTAP, you have the last word of the night. What you looking for tonight in NHL?
2 big games. Boston against Tampa. I think it's a message time there. And Pittsburgh and Washington. I think those will be classic games tonight.
You're absolutely right. We want to thank everybody in the chat to be with us tonight. If you are stuck in the snow, get out of the snow. If you have a problem healthy, we wish you a speed recovery. And finally, of course, we want to remind everybody, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you. He has greatness inside of him. That's why we call him the GOAT of the prediction in Hockey Nation Live Show. Until the next time, my friend, we wish, of course, be well, be healthy. Find a way not only dominate your day. Find a way to dominate the first half of what, Mr. ENORTAP?
Year 2023.
Thanks so much, Mr. Nata. We want to be careful to Gary is right now working on the snowmobile, whatever happening about this one there. And for people who was worried about Danny, Danny is out. He's already at the Mandarin anyway, so don't worry about him. And then
he walked there.
he walked there. So, about that one over there. And then we want to thank all the moderators tonight. Until the next time, have an amazing, great night, Mr. Natap.
Good night, Hockey Nation. Good night, Coach.